Hey, Aiden Rigg here with Lead Freak Academy. I wanted to carry on from yesterday's topic and kind of refresh where we are and then where we're headed. Yesterday we spoke about the first part of sustainability or selling sustainability. And today we're going to continue on. Now, specifically what we spoke about the difference between market share and profitability. And it's essentially the time or the value or both that you're adding to your customer. So if you are just simply in a transactional sale with your prospect, with your customer, then you're simply dropping a box, they're paying a price. So Amazon is a transactional relationship. Being with Walmart is traditionally a transactional relationship. You walk in, their lowest price, or at least you think their lowest price. You get it because they're low price. They're going to have the inventory. You get the product fast. Or Amazon, low price, you get it fast. You don't have to go shopping. You're getting value in that sense, but there's not a lot of time invested. As you need to move up the ladder, and this is what we need to do in B2B selling. We need to add more value. If we don't add value, then they don't need a salesperson. They can simply just have a transactional relationship, have a website, and go in, sales in, sales out, like Amazon. So as B2B salespeople, as entrepreneurs, as people that are growing revenue for our organizations, we have to be able to add value. And value is added in the sense of the amount of time that you spend with the organization, with your prospect, and what are you giving them in response to that time. So as you invest more time, the customer is utilizing your time. They're appreciating that time. You're giving them something of value, so they're giving you more attention. So the time is an investment of the customer, and the time is the investment of you. And as you move up the ladder from market share or transactional selling up to profitability and creating an actual trusted advisor or an advisor role, insightful to your prospect, then we need to move up the ladder. And in commercial selling and selling cleaning, what we need to do is we need to change the game from here's the product or service we deliver to B players selling green cleaning and helping people be greener, to where when we move up to A players, B plus, A players, A organizations, the A salespeople, what they're doing is they're changing the focus from transactional, from green to sustainability. Right? And sustainability is what your prospects want. They might not even know it, but they want a sustainable position. They want to utilize sustainability in their organization because sustainability reduces a lot of things. It adds value to an organization. So sustainability is the centerpiece or the synergy of the three pillars of sustainability, of people, planet, and profit. Right? So when you are impacting the people, when you are impacting the planet in a positive way, those two things naturally, the outcomes of helping people, improving the lives and the productivity of people, and reducing the impact on the planet, such as resources, things like that. When those two things are working harmoniously, then profitability or more profits is realized by an organization. And when those three are working together, that's how you're going to make a difference in your prospect's business. So we want to recognize that essentially sustainability is about risk reduction, right? Everything about sustainability that I see is about reducing the risk associated with not being sustainable. So you're reducing the risk to the people that are involved in a building, that live in a building, that work in a building. You're reducing the risk to the planet by reducing the impact, reducing water consumption, reducing energy costs, the risk. And those two risks, people and planet, produce better profits, more profitability for an organization. And so when those three pillars of sustainability are working together, what we're essentially doing is reducing the risk associated to the organization and to our customers. So we want to take our customer from being transactional to green to ultimately to sustainability. And that's not something you do in one swoop. It's something that you work towards. And so when you are working towards it, then you always have a reason to be in front of your customer. And you help them move up that ladder, up that grid to being full with sustainability. And then when you get there, you're still always managing new issues, new outcomes, new potentials, new problems. So it's not like you ever fully get there. You are working with them. But it's your insights, your values, your value that you give them, that the organization takes or receives, and in placement of that, they buy your products or services. So they don't buy your products and services because your products or services are better than everybody else's. They buy your products or services because the value you add helps them with their organization. Okay, so we need to recognize that to think that we can clean better than somebody else is subjective, right? And your customer's not going to believe that. They might believe it after you've done it for a while, what have you, but they're not essentially going to believe that. What you need to do is change the game. You need to show them another opportunity. They think of you as cleaning. They think of you as just, make it look good, make it smell good, and make my tenants happy. And you are going to show them the things that you can do that you can help them add value and profitability and reduce expenses to their organization. So that's what we're really talking about. And so to carry on from yesterday's topic, so we look at reducing energy costs and consumption. So one of the things that I learned through some conversations with Steve Ashkin was that actually energy is probably one of the highest, more focused on costs. Just saving 2% of energy costs can be astronomical and trump almost all other costs that an organization or a building uses. So energy and energy consumption is huge, and there's a lot of ways that we can do that, but specifically when we're focusing on the cleaning industry, there's some things we can do. Now, obviously, as individuals in our homes, we can reduce our costs, our energy costs, by using things like energy smart microwaves and energy smart fridges and energy smart dishwashers. I had a place a few years ago I rented, and it didn't have an energy cost efficient dishwasher. And then it broke, and then they brought in an energy conscious dishwasher. The cost on my energy costs, we got a bill every 2 months, was something like $50 or $60. So it was like $1,000 a year reduction just by using a different dishwasher. And we didn't use the dishwasher every day. We use the dishwasher maybe once or twice a week. It piles up. So energy costs are astronomical. But when it comes to cleaning, what are some of the things that we can do? What are some of the things that you can do to position you and your organization to help create change, create value, to gain new business? Well, one of the things we want to look at is transportation costs. So one of the things you can do as a commercial cleaning company is address transportation costs to your customer. Now, some organizations are not going to really be all that concerned about transportation costs, but ones that are working towards sustainability, some of the bigger organizations are for sure going to be interested in this. And so I would say that you build a transportation cost into your presentation, regardless of your customer and the size and what they're asking for. You're going to start to create differentiation and show them how you are being conscientious and how you are creating positives for them. So one of the ways that you can do that by reducing transportation costs and reduce energy costs is by, as an example, having your employees pool. Everyone gets together and gets into one car and pools, right? Or they all take, and your company pays for them to take the subway as opposed to driving their car. So these are things as an examples. But other ways that you can reduce energy costs is by making sure that you are utilizing products that help reduce transportation costs. So let me give you an example. If your organization is using 20-liter pails of neutral cleaner, and that neutral cleaner dilutes at 1 to 20, you can very simply reduce the transportation costs and the energy costs to produce that by, instead of using a 20-liter pail that dilutes at 1 to 20, by using a 1.89 liter that dilutes at 1 to 56 as an example. So you're going to save massive amounts of shipping costs, the energy to produce those products, and you're also going to impact the recycling and stuff as well, because you're going to go from 1 to 20 dilution rate and 20-liter pails to a small little container like this at a 1 to 50 dilution rate. So that's just one example, but recognize that you can save and how you can help your customers save energy costs. So when you're cleaning for them, recognize, notice, tell them, show them you use energy efficient vacuums, you use energy efficient auto scrubbers. This is critical. They might not recognize that or even think of that, but if you're using energy safe equipment, energy safe vacuums, energy safe auto scrubbers, and your competitor is not, that has a direct impact on their bottom line, and address that in your proposals. Show them that you're saving an organization X amount per month on average. They're not even going to think of that. And then the next time one of your competitors is presenting to them, they're going to ask them, do you have energy safe vacuums? Do you have energy safe auto scrubbers? They say, no, we don't. And they're going to have in the head, oh, geez, that's going to cost us an extra $6,000 a year in energy costs because you've brought that up. You've created that problem and shown them the solution. So that's an example. Fuel costs. When you have transportation costs, you also have the fuel costs and the amount of consumption in fuel costs, right? So recognize that if you are having all your employees use the subway and your company's paying for them on a monthly pass, as an example, the fuel costs. So have these things built in. As an example, figure out that your employees live 30 kilometers away, and that 30 kilometers times 2 would be X amount, and address this in your presentation and say, our employees, we pay for this, and we save, boom, 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 all these employees, here's what we save. We save approximately $600 a month in fuel costs, or $7,000 a year. These are all things that you present to them and that they can present to others and to their customers as an example. So it's a domino effect. Large organizations like Walmart and things like that expect you to have a sustainability position. So have a sustainability position. Address these things in your presentations. Address these things in your operations. Address these things in helping your customer get sustainable. So when you do a presentation and you're competing against customer A, or your competitor A, you have these things that 95% of them haven't even thought about. You're creating differentiation, you're creating awareness, you're creating change, you're making a positive impact on the environment, a positive impact on the world, and a positive impact for your employees. And that gets noticed. It creates differentiation. Now you have separated yourself from the competition. One of the other things is equipment costs. Equipment. Now, we spoke about that a little bit, but look at the equipment and the amount of ampage and energy reducing capabilities of that equipment. So you think about some smaller commercial cleaning companies as an example that you might be competing against. They might not be able to afford to have newer equipment. Maybe they're using 20, 30-year-old equipment. You can position yourself differently by showing that you're using equipment that draws way less ampage, way less energy. It's very important to take that and measure that. This means that you're saving X amount of wattage per hour. And then what's the average cost in your area per hour or per wattage? You can easily come up with a number and sit back and say, we estimate we're going to be vacuuming, 30 hours per week. This is the amount of energy costs we're going to reduce it. And that has an X amount of dollars to you. So you see, you can sit back and say, hey, we're going to charge $5,000 a month to clean your facility. And the competitors might be, let's say, $3,500. But when you start showing these costs that you're saving them in your proposal, then it's going to weigh out. They're gonna see these costs and go, wow, okay, they're charging me $5,000, but they just show me that there's another $3,000 a month that they're saving us with all these costs, and now you are actually 30% cheaper than the competitor. This competitor is saying they're $3,500. You're saving $3,000 a month in energy costs and consumptions, or a year. Sorry, there's a cost savings there. So recognize that you can position that, and that it's part of a sustainability position, but you can also position it as a way to save an energy cost. And energy costs are expensive. And finally, daylight cleaning. There is a case for daylight cleaning. Why is there a case for daylight cleaning? Because if a company or a building can shut their lights off at 5 p.m. and not have to have the lights on for you to clean, okay, there is costs there. It's a huge cost there. Now, there might be some certain tasks you need to do at night at certain times, like maybe, scrubbing, re-waxing a floor as an example, and some restorative work. But the most part, you can sit back and say, we do daylight cleaning. We clean during the day, and we're going to save you this amount of money. Now, there are consulting agencies that focus just on this. So it is a real takeaway. It is a real value that you can add to your organization, and you can add to your prospects. So they are looking for ways to save, and it's your job to show them things they didn't even recognize. The average facility manager may not even recognize that low wattage equipment, utilizing employee transportation costs, reducing fuel costs, daylight cleaning. All these things reduce energy. And the energy is probably the most expensive cost to a building, and I learned that through Stephen Ashkin. So I'm not sure that that energy is number one, but I believe it is. But there's a lot of different things that play into that, as we've talked about, and we're going to continue talking about. But recognize that you can make a real difference by being energy conscious and reducing energy consumption, which is going to reduce energy costs, which have a direct impact on the bottom line and on the planet. So if you found this of value, continue watching, but I encourage you that we have a free course available. The link below, and you simply go to Lead Freak Cleaning Academy to get it. We focus on 3 things for your company, for your cleaning company. We focus on getting leads, engaging leads, and converting leads. What is a lead? A lead is something or someone you can contact with. What is a prospect? A prospect is an engaged lead, a lead that is now aware of you and is engaging in conversation. That is a prospect, right? That prospect, they're now a prospect. They're aware of you. You're having a conversation. They're clicking your stuff. They're watching your videos. They're engaged, and now they're moving down your funnel, right? So a prospect is obviously different than a lead. And finally, then convert. How can you convert those leads? When you have a meeting, what can you do to weigh the odds, to convert them, to get them to do business with you? So that's what we focus on, help you get leads, convert leads, engage leads, and convert leads. So it's a free course. I encourage you to check it out below. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video.